Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe vom SI-Talk. Ich muss mich als erstes gleich einmal beim Jochen Steirer bedanken, dass er mir sein Equipment gegeben hat. Sie wissen, Jochen ist Commodity-TV und Rohstoff-TV. Er ist ja spezialisiert, alles was in unserem Sektor ist, gerade was Rohstoffe betrifft, und ist auch heute der Organisator dieser Wiener Silber, Gold- und Silber-Night, muss man eigentlich sagen, obwohl ja eigentlich mehr, naja, okay, es sind mehr Goldaktien da als wie Silberaktien, aber einer der Unternehmen, die da sind, ist Endeavour Silver, Bradford Cooke. Sie kennen ihn, wir haben auch schon mehrere Interviews gemacht. Das ist eine der Firmen, eine der Success Stories, die es am Markt gibt. Und wenn man sich den Aktienkurs anschaut, dann kommen ihm die Tränen. Aber, und das ist einfach das Gute dran, Sie haben jetzt damit eigentlich die Möglichkeit, ganz unten zu kaufen, weil oben kann jeder kaufen, aber unten kaufen ist extrem schwierig. Brad, thank you to have time for me. Last time I think we talked was in September or October 2014. So what's happened since this time?
Well, Endeavour since 6 to 9 months ago has delivered its 10th consecutive year of record silver production. We also delivered our phase 1 capital expansion of our third mine, the El Cubo mine. We had a record year of production last year at our first mine, the Guanaceví mine, and a regular year from our most profitable mine, the Bolañitos mine. So that was our year-end results, another good, strong year of operations with a new record of silver production.
Last time you said to me, you don't know what's 2015 happened. You think first time that you maybe not thinking on expand your production, you're thinking more on consolidation, that with this actual price it makes no really sense to growing aggressively.
We agree with that, and last year we actually forecast to hold the production steady. Our operations guys did do a little bit better than what we had planned, hence the new record. We are continuing with that same forecast this year. No growth of production, maybe just a little bit better than planned, so we can keep our track record intact. And the reason very simply is the low prices. We think that the prices will turn probably this year and move into the third leg of the commodity price cycle. And we would much rather be producing more metal at higher prices.
I hope you're right. You know, my feeling is always this 2014 was the year you must preparing that you can invest into the market. And 2015 to 2018, I believe that we get a really strong market. So I hope really you are right. But also, and this surprised me a little bit, you're coming up with the idea that you maybe build up a fourth plant.
Yes, so part of our holding still this year on production was to expand our third mine at El Cubo and drive the costs down so it can join the other two mines as generating profits. And we expect to deliver that by the third quarter of this year. Equally important, and for the much longer term value proposition, we have a new discovery called Terronera in Mexico. The resource grew large enough last year that we are able to consider a pre-feasibility study for a production decision this year. And I believe we are the only silver mining company considering the construction of a new mine in this market. The reason is that the economics at Terronera look very robust even at these prices.
Okay, we know the bankable feasibility study is not out, so you cannot say something about what's really the economics are, but can you say something rough what you think the capex are being?
I can only point to what similar projects cost both to build and to operate in the business. And we can look even at our third mine, El Cubo, was a $67 million capital program to basically completely rebuild the mine and expand the plant to 1,500 tons per day. So I think it would be not surprising if we had something like a $60 or $70 million capital budget to build a small mine, but with only another $15 or $20 million to double that to be a large mine. And when I say small at Terronera, maybe 1,000 tons per day is the best place to start. That would be our smallest mine at 2 million ounces silver per year. But with a small capital budget to expand it, a phase 2 capital budget to expand it by double, it would become our largest mine. actually, at 4 million ounces of silver and 28,000 ounces of gold. So we are thinking about starting small, generating early cash flow, capturing the next leg up in the metal price cycle. And, you know, as soon as the small mine is producing, we might be in a position to proceed with the expansion.
Fourth mine, permitting is always an issue. Do you think it's an issue also for the fourth mine?
We actually applied in 2013 for the umbrella environmental approval from the government. We received it at late October. So we have already the umbrella environmental approval to proceed. Now we're applying for the individual operating permits that come after the umbrella permit, and we hope to have those by year end. So we hope to go to the board with a feasible project, a permitted project, and possibly even fully financed project.
Wow, great. You know, by the end of one question come before I come take my last question, is all-in cost. What do you think, how deep you can drive your all-in cost?
We've seen our all-in costs 2-3 years ago were in the $19 range. Last year they were $16.80. We've forecast this year a range of 16 to 17.5. I think we can beat that. And our goal obviously is to get below 15 long term. That's without building Terronera. Once we build Terronera, which should be a very profitable mine, very low cost mine, I can see the company costs coming down closer to 10 or 12 all in.
Wow, 10 to 12 is really low. And this is good. Then we now buy the price. And what is your personal expectation about the price? Also, especially for the next cycle. So, what is the highest what you can think on it?
For silver?
For silver, for sure.
I always consider myself to be a modest bull because when I started Endeavour Silver in 2003, silver was flat at $4.50 per ounce. And the main reason to start a silver company at that time was because gold was not flat, it was moving. And history says that wherever gold goes, silver follows. Not only that, you look at the fundamental supply and demand for silver since World War II, there was a very large supply-demand deficit, and supply could not keep up with demand for decades. By January of 2004, the above-ground inventories were so low that something had to happen, and that something was the silver price doubled in a matter of 3 months. So interestingly enough, there was enough old mines and undeveloped deposits that were developed over the next 2 years that silver returned to a supply scenario in 2006. So supply exceeded demand from 2006 through 2013. Only last year, after 4 years bear market, do we finally see silver back in deficit with supply not keeping up to demand. So finally this year, we will see the fundamental supply and demand of silver start to influence the price. And I think that means it's the start of the next leg of the commodity cycle. My outlook for the price of silver this year is perhaps $18 or $19 US by year end. And longer term, I think it will surprise people to the upside.
Yeah, what means surprise people? In the good old days, 2011, I think it was 49, 50 bucks, close to 50 bucks.
So let's look at what happened to silver in the last monetary cycle of the 1970s, culminating in the high of 1980, because I think it's important to understand not only what silver did, but how quickly it happened. You know, the spike in silver in 1980 to $54 an ounce was only a matter of weeks, from 36 to 54 and back to 36. So the ramp up of silver was, you know, $2, $4, $5, $10, and finally it got to 30-something dollars, and then in a matter of weeks it was up and down. I think we will see a similar bubble at the end of this particular phase in the cycle, and so I would look for silver to slowly get back to where it was in 2011, $49, $50, and then a very quick market from there.
Yeah, but it's still, when we compare this 1980 and then we calculate the inflation in, it should be much, much higher.
If you simply do the inflation calculation, it should reach $150.
Brad, I think this was a good point. $150 is great, but this means only when you calculate the inflation in. So, ja, das war ein kurzes Update von Brad. Was mir an Endeavour selber extrem gut gefällt, ist der hohe Hebel zum Silberpreis selber. Es ist auch bei der aktuellen Präsentation den Sie sicher auf der Webseite downloaden können, ein Beta drinnen über 5 Jahre, haben den höchsten Beta-Faktor zum Silberpreis selber. Das heißt, Sie profitieren natürlich von einem Anstieg des Silbers bei Endeavour Silber deutlich höher, als Sie, wenn Sie direkt in Silber investieren. Und natürlich ist es natürlich so, dass Sie von der Expansion des Unternehmens natürlich auch profitieren. Gerade wenn man sich den Aktienchart anschaut, what was your highest price, what you have on the share?
$13.
$13. Die Aktie war bei $13 oben, jetzt stehen wir irgendwo bei 2,40, 2,50, also eine Katastrophe, wo wir stehen, aber das sind auch die Regionen, wo wir im nächsten Zyklus auch sicher wieder hinlaufen. Und Sie wissen, meine Einschätzung ist, haben wir unsere Tiefs im Dezember gesehen, wir sind jetzt schon wieder auf dem Weg nach oben, keiner glaubt jetzt dran, das ist auch positiv, weil ein nächster Boom-Cycle kann nicht von einem Boom-Cycle kommen, sondern der kommt nur aus einer Depression, wenn keiner mehr dran glaubt. Und ich glaube, wir sind im Zyklus drinnen, mittendrin und wir können wirklich eine Menge Geld verdienen. Und genau deswegen schauen wir sich ja die Companies an und Endeavour Silber gehört da auf jeden Fall rein. Danke und tschüss.